Here in Millburn. I don't know if you're all from this particular town. I think you're probably from a lot of different places. But when we were standing outside before, I was speaking with the mayor and closing my eyes a bit, and although it was nightmarish as to why, when we had to stand against Asian hate, it was Millburn Short Hills that came out to Taylor Park to show where we felt from a social justice perspective. Another mass shooting at the Pulse, when we stood, and with that hatred toward the LBGT community, it was Millburn that came out to show our solidarity and support. When George Floyd was needlessly murdered, it was this community that came out in droves to show the true character and moral compass of this community. So I truly am privileged, as we are all, to represent such a great town. Mom's demanding action. You guys aren't so bad either. You know, we should start with, you know, this is not pro or con Second Amendment, right? We have to be smarter than that. We are all Americans. The Second Amendment is a part of the Bill of Rights, and it's the law of the land. This isn't against the Second Amendment. This is about reasoned regulations. And as a lot of the speakers spoke about, they work. Working collaboratively, and I'm so proud to have to know Governor Jim Florio, who was really, this was the first state in the nation to ban assault weapons. He probably didn't get a second term over that courageous stand, but he did the right thing. And hopefully that set the tone for what we've done here collectively as a government for the last 25 years. Collaborating with all of you, I'm so proud to have been the prime sponsor of the red flag laws, as the Attorney General spoke earlier about that public nuisance law that they're now going to use to hold those who flout our laws, like the manufacturers and the distributors, to be held financially accountable, and now what we're doing with conceal and carry. There's a reason why we do these things. Not that can ever be perfect here, it won't, but because it will make our batting average that much better. There's a reason why here in the most populous state, we're like just about the lowest as it relates to per capita deaths with guns. That's because all of you, and that's because reasonable laws work, and we have to keep up that progress. You know, a year ago, I stood on the floor of the legislature, and it was just about a year, or it was a couple days, but a year ago, after the tragedy at Robb Elementary School. With kids on the cusp of summer, dreaming about tire swings and lakes and cool summer days. Instead of that dream, 19 children's lives were taken, along with 2 of their teachers. I stood on the floor of the legislature and said that's 183 mass shootings that particular year, and it was not even the first week of May. The calendar year ended and there were 647 mass shootings. Just a couple days ago, I stood on the floor of the legislature and talked a little bit about Allen, Texas, and the shopping mall where 8 were killed,
right
and
onto Church Street.
7 Church Street's where all need to go. 7 wounded. And you know, when you hear these numbers, you know, it's almost a little bit like the Holocaust. You get numb to them, right? What's 6 million mean, right? So put some names to the names, you know, to the people. In Allen, Texas, Key and Cindy Chow lost their lone lives, as well as their 3-year-old son, James. His 6-year-old brother watched in horror of what happened, and that brother, like tens of thousands of other victims who've survived but have seen the carnage, are lifelong and being impacted. In Allen, Texas, Daniel, he was age 11, Cecilia, age 8. The Mendoza children. A 23-year-old, a 32-year-old. These are folks. May 30th marked the 150th day of this year. 263 mass shootings. That's ahead, sadly, of last year. My wife was here earlier, and she's smart enough to go home when she saw the lightning. But I thought of her because she was right close to the tree where I was here just a couple days ago with my 2-year-old granddaughter at music class. I thought so hard about that. You know, you think of the tragedy, and Mikey spoke of it, of losing a child, right? Tragic car accident, the ravages of childhood cancer, if the leading cause of death for children is gun violence, we can do better. And we have here in New Jersey because of all of you and your advocacy. I'm just gonna, one note mention on this conceal and carry, you know, God forbid for 100 years it worked very well here in New Jersey. And we had a Supreme Court that determined that that was not the case, and now we've got a judge that looked at our reasonable conceal and carry laws and said, there's no precedent to keep a loaded gun out of a bar. What could go wrong? And then that judge mentioned, what would Thomas Jefferson think? And I said, well, what do you think about the 14th Amendment? He owned slaves. This was 250 years ago. We have to be in the now and the present. And the people are hiding behind that Constitution in our courts as a way to advance their principles in promulgating guns, not to protect constitutional rights, which clearly can reasonably be curtailed to keep us safe. I'm not the most religious person at all, but I do every day, like we all should, pray for a little bit of wisdom in our lives. So just join me in that thought for a prayer now. A prayer that legislators in the 49 other states can have the wisdom. Each and every member of our Congress and United States Center can have the wisdom to protect us all, particularly our children, for reasonable gun regulation. God bless you all, thank you.